Hi guys, how are you? It's Kendall again. I'm back to explain a little bit more from my first video and talk a little bit more about why I started the carnivore way of living or lifestyle. So back in 2015, some of you will know this, I was diagnosed with autoimmune condition, which was psoriatic arthritis. So I've always had a little bit of psoriasis just in the back of my hair. It's never been a big deal because no one can see it, and I'm very lucky that it wasn't anywhere else on my body. But that was probably came up about in my 20s, and I just lived with it. And then all of a sudden, I must have been in my, it was around my, getting close to 40 actually. There's a little bit more stress in my life. I'd had 2 kids under 6. I was studying to be a personal trainer. I was running a small business. Life was busy and a bit more stressful, and I noticed that my joints had all swelled up in my hands. That's the only thing I knew, just a couple of joints. And I did all the visits to the doctor and ended up at the rheumatologist, and I was put on methotrexate. And I just went, oh, well, what do I do? I don't know why I've got this. You know, people said, oh, maybe stress, maybe this. So I just accepted it and thought, well, what else can I do? I'd like my joints to go down. I'd like to, feel better. So anyway, I was on that for 5 years, and yeah, my psoriasis went down. I didn't have any major flare-ups, and that was that. Meanwhile, at that time, I'd introduced a plant-based lifestyle, and I was working with health and wellness products, which I am still passionate about, clean skincare and makeup, being a makeup artist, and introduced some nutrition that was plant-based. Now, I don't know, I always thought I was being pretty healthy, but obviously, I wasn't someone that binged on food, ate a lot of lollies or sweet stuff. So that wasn't really me. So I sort of look back and I think, what was I eating that was so bad? But I think what we don't realize is a lot of the stuff we eat day to day is processed food. And the processed food is what is really, really not good for you. And that could be, muesli bars or, anything in a packet is not really great food. It's not a whole food. Plus, all the plants, extra plants and things that I was eating and legumes and things, I've since done some research. They're not that great for you. Some people react very differently to other people. So I should say this is not any medical advice. I'm just giving you my interpretation of what's happened to me. So I'm just sharing my story. So take it as you will, and I would do your own research too. But for me, I think a lot of those things didn't agree with me, and over time they built up in my system, and that's where I think the autoimmune came about. So autoimmune or any of those deficiencies or diseases, they're not a disease. It's your body not functioning. As Dr. Chaffee always says, if you want to look up Dr. Chaffee, he's a really great person to get some more technical understanding and sort of the science background of the carnivore diet. Being I think having a disease isn't actually a disease. It's your body dysfunctioning. It's not working. It's not functioning properly because of what you're putting in. Like the old saying, what you are what you eat. So you've got to have a look at what you're eating. And we all think that just the normal Western standard diet, Australian diet, or the American standard diet, Australian standard diet here is okay. Even if you're eating vegetables and fruits, and, I loved all my foods, but I didn't understand that a lot of them aren't good. I knew the processed food wasn't good for you, and I'd cut out that pretty much anyway. But the fruits and veggies or the vegetables and the plant stuff, I had no idea, and I think that's the thing. We put all this stuff in, and then our bodies don't like it, and they're trying to get rid of it. So that's just some of the research I've done. I would definitely check it out yourself. There's some great people. I'll list a few people down that I follow to do your own research. But feeling so much better, not shoving my body full of stuff. And I basically eat 2 meals a day, sometimes 3. I was never someone who could go a long time without food before. I used to always need like 5 meals and, you know, breakfast, lunch and dinner and snacks. And I'd always be thinking about what was I going to eat next. I was always hungry, and I always sort of had cravings, and I loved to look forward to what I was eating. And I don't necessarily think that's a super healthy way of being, you know. So now I have 2 meals, I spread them out. And the best part is I'm not hungry and I'm not craving food. I'm drinking heaps of water. I've cut out alcohol. I've cut out coffee, which I started to do at the start of the year. I knew that was really poisoning my system, and coffee isn't good for me anyway. So really bad for flare-ups and things. So for me on my journey, having an autoimmune condition, I have gone a little bit more full on with my journey with carnivore. We tend to try and focus on ruminant animals. So your things like your cows, your sheep, your goats, the things with the 4 stomachs that can process down what they're eating a lot better, so that when we eat them, they're really clean meat. So I haven't been focusing so much on chicken, or I have a little bit of fish and some sardines, and I love my eggs, but I've just got to be a little bit more strict. But the general basis is 2 to 3 meals a day. Eat until you're absolutely full, which has taken me, and I'm still on my journey, so I'm still learning this. I've only really been 2 weeks of hardcore eating when you're full, and knowing that you're really full and satiated, and then that way you can go away and you're not hungry for hours. You know, I can have a dinner at 6 and have my main meal at 9 in the morning, you know, 1 big meal at 9 or 10, and then 1 big meal at 6, and I'm done. I'm not thinking about food. I'm not worrying about what I'm going to cook. It's straightforward and really, really simple. So the feeling of just having that room, I'm going to the toilet better. I used to always have irritable bowel and problems before with constipation and things. That has all gone away because I'm not clogging up my system with all this extra stuff. So it's just been such a game changer for me. And I think also having really clean food, and also sort of eliminating a lot of things out, which is pretty much what carnivore is. It's an elimination way of eating. I don't have any stuff going on in my brain, any things that are affecting my brain. I'm really clear, and it does create that beautiful, clear, calm feel, and you've got a lot more energy. So I've got energy because my body is using the fat for energy. It's not using the sugars for energy. So hence I feel super energetic most of the time. Obviously you're going to have a little bit of dips, but you know, my insulin's leveled out and everything's just a lot more easy and smooth, and obviously clothes are fitting a lot looser. My skin, it's great for your skin as well. And you know, I'm yet to see everything. I've still got a little patch of psoriasis here. It's early days, so I will let you know how I go with that. And this particular finger's been really swollen, so that's starting to come down. So I'll let you know how I go with that. So apart from that, I feel incredible. So all the other things will be a bonus when they start to happen. And there's some great people you can follow. If you do suffer from any autoimmune or conditions like that, there's some wonderful people to have a look at that you can see more about how their journeys are and hear a little bit more about how carnivore has helped them. But even for everyday people who are just trying to be healthier, or they might want to lose weight, there's so many benefits too. And you don't necessarily have to go as hardcore as what I'm doing. Some people may just want to wean back the processed foods and cut back a bit of the sugary stuff, and maybe have, you know, a little bit less fruit, and just do it that way. There's so many ways you can do it, but I just feel really amazing about it. Wanted to share a little bit about it, and I'll try and share a little bit more and a bit more details as the time goes on. So if you've got any questions, write some comments in there, and happy to help and talk to people and share my journey. And if it helps some people, that is the whole point of doing this. So anyway, have a great day, guys, and we'll talk soon. Bye.